In the week before their departure to Arrakis, when all the final scurrying about had reached a nearly unbearable frenzy, an old crone came to visit the mother of the boy Paul. It was a warm night at Castle Kaladin, and the ancient pile of stone that had served the Atreides family as home for 26 generations bore that cooled sweat feeling it acquired before a change in the weather. The old woman was led in by a side door down the vaulted passage by Paul's room, and she was allowed a moment to peer in on him where he lay in his bed. By the half-light of the suppressor lamp, dimmed and hanging near the floor, the awakened boy had see a bulky female shape at his door, standing one step ahead of his mother. The old woman was a witch, shadow hair like matted spiderwebs, hooded, round darkness of features, eyes like glittering jewels. "Is he not small for his age, Jessica?" the old woman asked. Her voice wheezed and twanged like an untuned baliset. Paul's mother answered it with a soft contralto. "The Atreides are known to start late getting their growth, your reverence." So I've heard, wheezed the old woman. "Yet he's already 15. Yes, your reverence. He's awake and listening to us," said the old woman. "Sly little rascal," she chuckled, "but royalty has need of slyness. And if he's really the Kwisatz Haderach, well." And that is the first page of Frank Herbert's novel, Dune. Today I want to go over the reasons why I think Dune could be the ultimate MMORPG. Please don't forget to drop a like on this video and remember to join me several times per week for more game-related content. I'd like to give a shout out to everyone helping support and grow this channel, either by subscribing for free or on Patreon for just $1.50 per month. Thank you so much. When I was a much younger version of myself, I watched a movie with my father. We both had a huge love for science fiction, sci-fi of every kind, and just movies in general, to be honest. But nothing was off limits to us in that genre. We loved Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate, anything that started with Star, really. Aliens, Predator and Aliens, Blade Runner, The Chronicles of Riddick, and so many more. But there was one movie in particular that had a better impression on me, a better story, a boy named Paul Atreides. His absolute love for his father, and his struggle to grow up as a person and an individual who had common sense and who had a struggle to become a leader and a fighter. In the story of Dune, he finds himself moving to a new planet called Arrakis that he'd only ever heard about in stories from his friends and followers and seen in picture books. And I can remember growing up, I moved about 12 times, and every single time it sucked. You lost everything you knew, and on top of that, trying to grow up and maintain friendship was a big deal. But with all that said, what really makes this story into a great MMORPG? Well, let's start with the basics. Let's start with the things that we see in MMORPGs now and in the past. And the first thing that we're going to cover that makes a great MMO are the races and factions of said MMO. And with the movie Dune, and not only the movie, or movies I should say, that have been made in the past, we have the novel itself. Now I gotta tell you guys, I've seen every movie that has anything to do with Dune. I've played almost every board game that has Dune in the title, and read several other stories about Dune. But I have to tell you, the novel itself does kind of match some of the movie aspects, but it explains things a little bit better in my personal opinion. And if you haven't had a chance, read the novel. It's quite the awesome experience, especially if you're already a Dune lover or a fan. But let's get into the factions and the races that we could possibly choose from in our MMO, so to speak. The first thing is the Atreides, obviously, from planet Caladan. They are, more of a military type faction, so to speak. And then we have the Harkonnens, who live on planet Giedi Prime, who are the arch nemesis, so to speak, of the Atreides. Then we have the Spacing Guild and the Guild Navigators, the ones who can fold space and let people travel long distances to other planets. Then we have the Empire and the royal family and their whole army and subjects that they deal with. And they really control things from behind the scenes and really only answer to people like the Spacing Guild because they need their services. Then there's the Bene Gesserits, the witches, so to speak, the mind readers and the manipulators of the bloodlines, the ones who are trying to make the Kwisatz Haderach a female version of that for that matter, telling Jessica that she was only supposed to provide the Duke with daughters, but instead, because of her love for the Duke, she went ahead and had a son instead. And then we have the Fremen, a desert-like people, warriors and merchants, and the secret holders of planet Arrakis, and manipulators from behind the scenes, aren't they? Then there's the Mentats. These guys are awesome. The supercomputer beings, humans, who have the ability to weigh every decision mathematically with percentages, and everything they do has consistency and a mathematical equation to it that's waiting to be solved. Really cool, well-written story members of the movie Dune. So, as far as an MMORPG is concerned, we're more than taken care of when it comes to factions and races. I mean, just the ones I've mentioned so far are plenty to have a good, solid amount of content there. Now let's talk more landscape, the planets and places that we could possibly go in our MMORPG. First off, obviously, we have Caladan, a planet covered by veins of water, as they put it in the movies and in the book. Oceans, vast oceans of water, Paul said to the people on Arrakis who lived in a desert. And then, of course, we do have Arrakis, a desert-driven planet where spice is the main commodity that controls the galaxy in itself, along with the commodity of water, something that they don't have any of on this planet. As a matter of fact, the people that travel in the desert have to wear a still suit that recirculates the body's water source so that they can actually survive in these crazy desert-like conditions. And then, of course, we have Gedi Prime, the home of the Harkonnens, the industry and the cruelty and the vast cities that come along with it, and its warring peoples, of course. To be honest, to make a good MMORPG, you don't have or need more landscape than just one city, but Dune offers space travel, spaceships, transports in different sizes, thopters, huge carryalls that carry transport supplies and miners, and all this for the spice harvesting, isn't it? Some mounts and travel inside of our Dune MMORPG is definitely going to be covered. Anything you can think of in the sci-fi genre could possibly be involved in Dune. There's so many cool technologies. Alright guys, let's get into Apparel for Dune, the MMORPG. OMG. This is probably aesthetically is the most diverse part of Dune, from the Spacing Guild and the Emperor and the amazing designer apparel that comes along with those two, all the way to the Fremen, who dress like a desert people and have their very distinctive still suits that we were talking about, conserving and recycling water for them. The Atreides have more of a militaristic look to them in their uniforms. And then there's the Harkonnens, of course, who dress in crazy looking suits of black and red, and their colors of war, of course. And most Harkonnens can't breathe normal air like other people, so they have to wear their special masks, breathing their Arrakis air, so to speak. Going along with that, then we have the weapons and the armor and everything else that can come with all that good stuff. It can be so diversified when it comes to Dune. Everything from the ritualistic Chris knives that the Fremen warriors all carry on their person, all the way to the weirding modules that the Atreides made that carries the voice of the wielder, and the little control modules that they wrap around their neck to amplify their voice. And then we have projectile weapons and explosives and swords and shields that protect an entire person's body, almost like the shields on a spaceship, so to speak. And Dune has more cool tech than you can possibly shake a stick at. So when it comes to weapons and armor and apparel and all that stuff, we're totally going to be covered in that area. Now I know what you're going to say, guys. What's the biggest thing that makes an MMORPG really engaging? Of course, guys, it's the storyline. Dune offers a storyline unlike any other that's ever been written. And, you know, the quest lines and the main storyline and the MMO revolving around Dune would be so epic that only a complete moron could screw it up. I mean, there's so much storyline, so many quest lines that I could spit off just the top of my head. Within an hour or two, you'd have a few months of content. From the heroes to villains, the peasants to the emperor, there is a role for everyone to play, and in a way for everyone to be involved in an MMO based on Dune. I could go on and on for hours detailing exactly how I would make this MMO a reality, but we don't have that kind of time here today. Do you yourself have an idea for an MMO, an MMORPG, and you'd like to possibly talk about it or make a video about it? Feel free to hit me up with an email at adventurewithroger@gmail.com, or join me on my Discord. Join the Discord, send me a message. The link to that Discord will be in the description of this video. Go ahead and feel free to check it out. And please, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to check out more game-related content several times per week, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's free for you and really helps me out. Also, in the description, there's a link to my Patreon. If you want to throw me a couple bucks per month, I won't complain. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for being here. Leave a comment and let me know if you're looking forward to the movie Dune, coming out with a new one later on this month. I'm really looking forward to it personally. My name's Roger, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on my next adventure. Take care of yourself, everybody.